Starlights, GE here. I recently finished up my first semester of college and was met with an insane amount of free time. So, what does one do with so much free time in their hands? Rewatch the cringy videos they made when they were younger. Yeah, I decided to subject myself to the torture of rewatching my old YouTube videos from when I was the grown age of 10 years old. Like many others in my generation, I used to be super into gacha life, and it actually is what jump-started my love for creating stories and characters. Kind of an insane statement to make, honestly. However, I had an old YouTube channel, which I've since privated all the really bad videos that make me want to scream. I had a few series on this channel, but I never really finished any of them. I would kind of just post one episode and then never follow up with another one. The exception to this, however, was my take on the very popular hidden princess trope. Basically, for those who weren't in the gacha life scene, this was basically a very popular storyline where a girl would be raised by a normal family and be seen as kind of an underdog, misunderstood girl, until she finds out she is the lost angel wolf hybrid alpha woman princess the kingdom has been searching for. It sounds like I'm joking or exaggerating, but I'm really not. My take was less hybrid alpha and just more nothing burger. I really don't know what story I was even trying to tell. I rewatched maybe 2 videos and immediately did not know what was happening. The only memory I have of making this is that I asked my mom for permission to have my characters kiss, and I really wish I was joking when I say this. However, I was inspired by one of Emma Artley's many character redesign videos to give these guys a fighting chance at having an actual story rather than just...
Oh my god, bro. Oh, hell no.
Holy bad. Anyways, enough of me yapping. Let's get into... Here is the hidden princess herself, Pearl. Pearl was the first character I ever made in gacha life, and she's kind of a blank slate. Her only personality traits were sparring with her dad and standing up to bullies, even though she really sucks at it. I can't really remember any of her personality traits that I wanted her to have, but it's probably for the best that it was lost to time, honestly. Since the original story was basically a shell of nothing, I decided to create a new story that had nothing to do with the first, cause like, bro, what was I even on? In my new story, she plays the role of the new girl transferring to Bay City High, the town in which the story is now set. Her family recently moved because of her mother's new job, and she just wanted to live a normal teenage life. However, Pearl is definitely not a normal teen. She comes from a long line of exorcists, people from the supernatural world who are devoted to helping spirits in the natural world. Her mother learned that Bay City lives in a rift between the two worlds and thought that moving to this town could give Pearl the opportunity to learn how to be a better exorcist. One day when she stays late at school under the guise of volunteer work, she notices the paranormal club entering the restricted building she was supposed to investigate that night, and she ends up getting caught in their investigation. For all these characters, I didn't really take much of their original design since they weren't very cohesive with each other and very monochromatic and fantasy-esque. While the story is definitely a fantasy, the characters are still human, so I did ditch the animal ears on the ones who had them. Sorry to all the furries out there, I know. The necklace I gave her has significance, as in Latin, this type of necklace is a protective amulet worn by girls in ancient Rome, symbolizing, quote, femininity, growth, and protection from evil, according to Google. I like to think it transforms into a talisman she can use to exorcise evil spirits, or rather, take the evil out of them. Kinda like Ko from Totally Bound Hanako. I really hate the name of that book, but that series is really good. Here she is! I definitely like her new design, especially her hair, and I am keeping her original love interest though, alright? I am a hopeless romantic at heart. Oh, this poor guy. When I made this story, Nick's only purpose was to be the love interest who immediately falls in love with the protagonist. I'm pretty sure I made all of these characters solely for the story and didn't really think I needed to give them any motives or personality, which is never the case. I physically recoil whenever my friends want to watch these videos because they want to make fun of it, and I honestly do too. But I just physically recoil because whenever I see Nick and how poorly their romance is, I get sad. Since he had nothing going on in his brain, I took some creative liberties with his redesign. Nick, alongside his best friend Angelica, are a part of the school's paranormal club. Nick has always been obsessed with ghosts and paranormal activity ever since he watched Ghostbusters as a kid, even being inspired to start his own ghost hunting YouTube channel that he still runs. He's very proud of the fact that he runs his own club, even if there's really only one other member. He's a bit of a nerd, but doesn't really try to hide it. He's very smart in terms of school as well, being one of the top students in his class. His peers tend to make fun of him for his interest in the supernatural, but he couldn't care less. He even works for his local historical society and specializes in giving ghost tours. For his design, I decided to give him a more baggy outfit that shows off his interests. I, for one, am the type of fan who will wear t-shirts related to an interest out in public, so I think he'd take that to the next level. Design-wise, he's very monochromatic, which I did mention before with Pearl that these characters were very monochromatic, and I do still kind of fall into this habit, so I guess old Dabbits die pretty hard, but I decided to pay homage to his original character and give him some dyed red hair. Nick would definitely be the type to give ghost tours of his school to incoming freshmen in the hopes of interesting them, but in reality, he's just scaring them away without realizing it. Here he is! I actually like his design. I'm usually pretty bad at designing male characters, so I'm pretty happy with this. Angelica also falls into the did not have a personality trope that I fell into somehow. Really seeing a pattern here. She just kind of stands there and changes facial expressions and just has nothing going on behind those eyes at all. Considering the amount of backstory I make for a single non-protagonist background character now, this is baffling to me. I also want to point out that there is no music behind any of these gacha videos, so when I had to rewatch these, it was just dead silence while they slowly move on screen. Kind of terrifying, honestly. Angelica is now Nick's childhood friend. She's not as interested in exploring haunted stuff as Nick is, but she knows it makes him happy and she doesn't exactly have anything better to do. Angelica is not the best academically as opposed to Nick, but she does excel in the arts, even landing herself a full-ride scholarship to the art school of her dreams at just 16. She never quite fit in among her peers, tending to be more quiet and reserved. Despite this, she knows a lot about the ins and outs of the school, including its history. When Nick records his videos, she will often help him with his research and fact-check him on his knowledge. Angelica wants to leave town and move to the big city where she can pursue her passions with art. She plans on going to college and staying in that city, but whenever she brings up the idea, she just gets blank stares. She can't understand how people like living in Bay City. I mean, nothing interesting ever happens there, right? For her design, I definitely lean very monochromatic, as she is very purple, which I am definitely not complaining about. I wanted to give everyone color in their hair since they don't have natural hair colors in the original, plus it's giving main characters have unnatural hair colors. Here she is! I really like her design even though I heavily struggled with it, especially that stupid hair. Why do I always struggle with drawing hair?
I would have felt really bad if somebody wanted to draw her, but they just couldn't figure out her stupid bang!
And that's it for this video. I hope you guys liked the story and the redesigns. I don't really think the original plot was even memorable enough to be attached to, unless you just really like Hidden Princess Gacha videos. Honestly, if those videos didn't make me want to explode, I'd do a reaction video, but that will never happen. It'd have to be some kind of like insane milestone to even consider it. The story is very much in early development, so that's why there's quite a few plot holes, but I think the more characters I add to it, the more the story will develop on its own. I have ideas to redesign 3 more characters, because I think I had a total of 7, but they didn't really fit with the main 3, so I decided to leave those for maybe a part 2, but we'll see. I should also point out the rebrand. I finally redid my Sona. I was looking back at the old drawings I had, and they were just so outdated with my style now. Plus, I kind of wanted to do an actual colored character with a little bit of rendering. Not a whole lot, but more than just blue. That's why this video took so long to make, as well as I started school, as I mentioned earlier in the video, so hopefully now I'll be able to start posting more regularly. If you guys are interested in more redesigns or just have any ideas for future videos in general, let me know in the comments. But until then, thank you, my Starlights, for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Moria Astra, bye!